All right. Part 2. My mom called. All right.
Always at the perfect time.
Right. At least it saved that other one. So, concealers. Okay. And what we should talk about, is the other part of foundations. Do you know where your other foundations were? Your foundation bag? But two things you should know about foundation is, one, foundations are probably one of the highest reorders that we have, because you know how it is with a foundation. When you find a foundation that matches you, you can't, it's kind of like with mascara. Like, someone could technically be like, oh, I'm running out of mascara. Mm-hmm. And if they're in Walmart, they could just grab one. Mm-hmm. But with the foundation,
nope.
So getting people on our foundations is critical, I feel like, because you have a customer for life when it's foundations. Mm-hmm. So I love our liquid foundations. I love that they're lightweight. It doesn't feel like you have... So, like, if you have people who say, I just really can't stand the feeling like I have makeup on. Like, I have a full, complete face of makeup with every single Mary Kay makeup item possible, literally. But, like, I don't feel like I'm wearing any makeup. Yeah. And I just wanted to take a second and tell you about the foundation. So, two things could happen. You can either get these samples, and on the back it tells you what shade it is. So this is like Ivory 6. Or sometimes people like to demo the full tubes of foundation. So for her, we just have these little sample cards, you know. But then she has these to sell as well. You might start with these and be sick of them, and you might be like, forget this, I'm just gonna do this. But so for right now, we just took one of the zippered pouches from the starter kit and we put her sample cards in them, and that's where we're starting. But what I wanted to tell you about the foundations is, on your InTouch under Product Central, if you go off to the left-hand side, it says like Foundations for All, I think. But on there, it's so great because it has the map. So the foundation finder tool that you have in your starter kit, it is nice because it's going to get you close, but it's sometimes so similar that you're like, I don't know if you're a beige 1 or a beige 2. But our foundations, like a beige 2 isn't necessarily darker than a beige 1. Our foundations are based on people's undertones. So if someone's a beige 1 in the winter, you wouldn't just give them a beige 2. That's not how they're designed to work. So on that tool, it's Foundations for All. It's some sort of like foundation, what's it called? Comparison or compatibility or something. But I would take a picture of that and save it on your phone, and like you could put it in a folder on your phone, you know, so you could say like MK makeup parties, and anything, like if you had eye charts that told you how to do eye shapes, like you could save those in a makeup folder. So at your parties, you know, you could show people, or you could pull it up for your own reference. Or I would print it out and like laminate it, or just print it off and, you know, put it in your makeup bag. But like, so like I have more of a pink undertone. And so how you would know people's undertones is, I always ask people like to narrow it down. And I'm sure if you're doing your Color Confident, it's going to explain all this. But like if people exercise and they look like a tomato, that's a pink undertone.
That's me.
You too?
Oh, yeah.
If someone is a yellow undertone, that means they're like, most people are either a pink undertone or a yellow undertone, at least in kind of the ivory beige quadrants. And then the olive undertone is that like beautiful, like Mediterranean skin. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's really cool because all you have to do is identify someone's undertone, and then that chart will tell you, like it'll say, okay, does she have a pink undertone? Okay, well then here's all the foundation. It's like if she's an ivory, then here's all the, like she's either an ivory this, or ivory this. If she's a beige and she has a pink undertone, she's either going to be beige 3, blah, blah, or blah, blah. So it drastically makes it not overwhelming from the get-go, because you're not like, oh my gosh, there's like 7 shades of ivory and there's like 8 shades of beige. Like it's instantly going to narrow it down. And if she's a dark beige versus a light beige, it's going to narrow it down, and you're probably honestly only going to have 2 to 3 choices to ever match a woman on. Like, you're narrowing down, is she an ivory, beige, or bronze? Okay, what's her undertone? And you can also mix the foundations too. Like, lots of times for more bronze colored skins, it's nice to be able to have a little of this one and a little of this one, and they can get the exact match. And side note, with our bronze foundations, Mary Kay has received so many awards for having the most diverse and complete collection of foundations for bronze colored skins. So you can feel confident knowing that you have exactly what you need for any skin type. It just is a little bit of finagling, and I think it's fun playing with makeup. Like, don't feel like you have to get it right the first time. It's not like you're tattooing people. Yeah. Especially as a new consultant, you could just be like, I don't need you to buy anything, but would you be okay, being being a part of my foundation boot camp? Or one thing I like to do too, is I try to find a foundation for every skin tone. And if you have all the foundations, that's exciting, because if you see a woman, if there's someone you kind of an acquaintance with, it's like, you could just be like, I know this is random, but I'm doing a foundation boot camp where I'm trying to find a foundation match for every single color of foundation that we have. Is there any reason I couldn't borrow your face? I don't need you to buy anything, but it'd be really fascinating and good experience and great for you, because we're going to find a foundation that's perfect. So those are a couple ideas with your foundation. And the last thing is the foundations are made, if they have a purple stripe, they're for combination to oily skin, and pink stripes are for normal to dry. So not only is the foundation going to be to their skin tone, it's going to be to what their skin actually needs. No foundation does that. So good. So then, where do you want me down here?
That's fine.
And then the last thing is the translucent powder. Love the powder. It finishes everything. Lots of times I'll have people throughout makeup parties do half their face first and lift up their mirror, look straight on at themselves. They always say don't look down, because it's not flattering looking down. And
all the shadows.
Yeah. But I'll have them do like half their face first, so they can see how this just makes everything so beautiful and sets it and finishes it. And then I'll let them finish their whole face. But like, if you have them do the press and roll, kind of through here, and then they just finish with like downward strokes. We could talk about the brush set. We talked about that yesterday for part of our video. So you don't have to demo out brushes, it's just, if you do, usually you could just start demoing out one, and that can be what you let your hostess use. And so you could be romancing, throughout your party, the contouring clinic, and say, so Alyssa here, for having you guys all here, she's earning all kinds of free product today, which is super fun, but we're also going to like spoil her rotten, because she's going to be using and experiencing the brush set, which is state-of-the-art, world-renowned brushes that are perfect for every face shape and contouring and everything you could ever use. So everybody else is using like cotton balls and then she's over there like getting, and so then it's like, that's one of the perks. So, if you want to host your own girls' night, and you are going to be the one that I'm really going to give my focus to, because if you have a table of like people, you can't really do every single person justice, but you can do one person really good justice. And so that's just another perk. So Alyssa decided to go ahead and just demo one of hers out yesterday, because that way she can personally use it. And how you wash these is you could get like just shampoo. You could use your shampoo. You could also use like Dawn dishwashing soap, but you just kind of just swirl them and rinse them out in some warm water, and you lay them flat to dry. So you wouldn't want to lay them like this to dry, because the water would go down into the brush, but just flat to dry. So anyway, so brush set moment. Da-da-da-da. And then we also kind of have like this last makeup bag. And so she took, just so you know, to use the eye makeup remover, I think I shared that in another video. It has that little kind of line in the middle. And this part takes off like waterproof, and that's regular. So you shake it to activate it. Have them put on a cotton ball and lay it on their lashes for... Have you used this?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's super gentle and light, and it's not like the makeup remover wipes that you get from the store that are so like they feel so heavy and scented, and you're like, I don't know if that did anything for me. Like,
what's happening?
Yeah.
The eye primer, you know, that would go all over their eyelids. In the other video, I talked about putting it on the back of your hand and then putting shadow over it. And so here's shadow where there's eye primer, shadow where there's not. They can see how it holds the intensity. Cream eye colors. If you have no idea what you're doing with makeup, cream eye colors are where it's at. There's, I think 6 different shades. And you could start with this. They're just great. They're so easy. A lot of times too, I'll lay them out and I'll just let people pick what color they want. So I don't even, I'm like, okay, let's play. You know, what color do you want to try? So don't feel like you have to be like, okay, blue eyes, blah, blah, blah. Just let them play. And I take a spatula and just put it on their tray, and they can either use their fingers to put this on, or there's a cream eye color brush. If she was the hostess, you could let her use. We also demoed out the liquid eyeliner and the three of these, just normal like eyeliners. People who always do black eyeliner are always excited to try the Steely. I love Steely. That's what I'm wearing today.
Oh,
I love Steely. It's so pretty. So exciting.
It's very pretty.
It is. I love Steely.
Yeah.
So these are really great. They're smudge proof, waterproof. The liquid's not, but it's very like on there. And then we did the lash primer, which you would use with those little what are those, mascara wands?
Yeah.
And put them on. There was a girl on Monday night who came, and it's clear so they won't see it, but she did one eye, and I was sitting like to the side of her so I could see both of her eyelashes, and I was like, okay, just stop and look at your eyelashes just right there. And she was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I know. You can also bundle, like you could do a mascara bundle where they could get like both things for like $29.99. So you could offer like mascara bundles. And I have a mascara of the month club where when they buy 4, they get their 5th one free.
Nice.
And that way they stay loyal to me with their mascara. And this mascara, there's another video, not a better mascara in the world. The Lash Intensity.
That's what I use.
Can't beat it. We also demoed out a Lash Love, and the Ultimate came in her starter kit. The Lash Love is really great. Like, I have a friend where her eyelashes like fall throughout the day, and she has really like thin lashes. So she has tried the Lash Intensity, but like her little lashes aren't strong enough to hold it.
Yeah.
And so that's what for me, I have the Lash Intensity on, and so I do 2 coats of Lash Intensity, and my last one is with the Lash Love Lengthening, and I feel like that just...
Your lashes look good. They look very long.
Thank you.
And very full.
I do love that mascara. We also have the brow liners, you know, so brow liners followed by brow gel. If you wanted someone to try the brow gel, you would just stick a mascara wand in there and let them do it with a mascara wand. And then the last thing is the finishing spray, the X and a T. Sets it, holds it. Great for weddings, summertime, all that. Thank you. And then the exciting thing that we did, do you want to talk about those?
Sure.
Hello.
So we got all of our different eyeshadows that came in my inventory, and I opened them and I was like, oh my gosh, they're tiny little squares. What are we supposed to do with these? And Rachel was like, no, this is what you do. So we have these, what did you call them?
Cosmetic display trays.
Right, cosmetic display trays. And you take the little eyeshadows, and they're magnetic, so you literally just set them in there. And it's the same as the compact that like your customers would get. So you can literally, like at a party, just like take one of these out and put them in their little trial trays, and they can try them out with their little eyeshadow things. But yeah, it's awesome. And look at all my colors I have.
They're very pretty.
It makes me feel so professional because I just pull this out and I'm like, which one would you like to try?
What else is cool about them that we were talking about yesterday is if you don't know what color it is, on the back of your like cheek colors and eyeshadows, it says what it is. So like that says Sweet Cream. So that's really cool. And then the other thing is like she kind of organized them by like, we have highlighting colors. We kind of have like browns, purples, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Purples. And then what else happened, we noticed, which might happen to you now or someday, But like, see how this one up here is broken? It's espresso. So in the packing process, it just like that little corner kind of fell out. Well, that's what's called a product replacement. So if you ever, two things, like if you ever get a product and it comes in and it's broken, Mary Kay will send you a new one for free. And same thing. So like if you had a customer, like I had a customer who gave me back the Rosette lipstick because she felt it was too bold, and so she wanted to swap it out for an eyeshadow. So she gave it back to me. I gave her her lip gloss, and I'm going to do a product replacement on it, and they'll send me a whole new rosette for free. But I'm wearing the rosette now. It's in my car. It's so great. And so you can use that as a demo, or it's yours, whatever. So anyway, but what you need to know if you ever do a product replacement is it's on your InTouch under ordering, and it kind of, you go down and it says product replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super easy.
Do you want to?
Yeah, sure. So this comes in your inventory boxes as well. And it has all of the like item codes that you need. For instance, like the espresso was the mineral eye color, and it's right there. And there's my product code that I had to enter.
Yeah.
And
so that's it. So that is your product number. It'll ask you for like your product code or product number. And then on
a
the
day code.
Yeah, so that's the day code. So on every single product, it has, so like this one says 7F22. So if someone wants to give something back to you, you need their physical product because you need the day code off of it. And then you need the product replacement number.
And then it asks you, what was wrong with it. So I put like it was broken, and then it kind of specified like how was it broken. And then, I just submitted it, and then they ask you what you want to replace it with, and I replaced it with the same item. So now I have a broken one that I didn't have to do anything with. I just get to keep it, and then I'll get a replacement one. So, yeah.
It's very exciting. Yes.
Yeah, super easy.
Do you want to talk about that one? What it is?
Yeah, so this is my bronzing and my blush palettes. Super fun. And same, gotta open it here. If I can.
Did we ever find your other under eye corrector yesterday?
We'll
have to look.
We did not. I don't think.
We'll have to call them.
So yeah, same idea. They have the codes and the colors on the back of them, and then this is the bronzing kind of like contouring powder. So that's really cool. And again, it makes me feel pretty professional when I show people at parties. I'm like, which blush would you like to try? But yeah, it's same concept. They're magnetic, and it's like the mini and the full compact too, because you can put your your blush and your eyeshadows in there, and then you have your little brushes, and it's really handy for customers because they don't have to like buy a whole new compact. They just have to replace the individual thing.
Yep.
My mom was amazed by that. I told her about that last night, and she was like, "Get me one of those." I was like, "Okay,
I will, Mom." What else is kind of cool? Like I've seen people do this with their trays. Like, so if you want to know what colors these are, like sometimes people will like tape little pieces of paper right above them. So it might say, or you could take a well, if you do a Sharpie, you could never change it necessarily. I was going to say you could take a Sharpie and put like GC, like this one is golden copper. This one is CB, that's cherry blossom. Or you could just write them on little tiny Post-it notes and just cut them out and put a piece of tape above them. And that way you'll know what colors they are if you wanted to do that. And I always have, like, I would tell you guys, like, if you had like a bobby pin or something, if you poke them, it has holes on the bottom. If you poke it through the bottom, it'll pop out. I can't tell you how many times when I try to put a pin in here and pop them out this way, how I stab a big hole in the corner of my powder. So just thought on that. But that's what your cosmetic display trays are. And also, what's cool is what to do with these are for every, you save your cases, because for every 10 of any little case that opens and shuts, any of these clamshells, for every 10 they get back, they plant a tree in a national forest. and also your flip top lids. So it could be from your masks, it could be from, I mean, any, like your Time Wise, from your Miracle Set, but any flip top lid. And I was telling,
that is so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I'll give my customers $1 off their whatever their reorder is when they give me cases back. So I always kind of tell them that, and they always save these for me, and it's really great. And if you're local to Manhattan, we actually have a recycling bin for these at the studio. But when you go to like career conference or seminar, that's where you bring them, and they have like a big container that you can dump all these in, or you can mail them into Mary Kay, whatever. But I just save them up for career conference, you know, and all that. But I think last year our unit like planted like 100 trees. I mean, it was a lot of trees. It was really cool. So we usually count them up before we turn them in to know how many trees we as a unit planted for the year and stuff. So save those, save your flip top lids when you are done with them. And if something, so like you should kind of know, like it was pretty obvious yesterday that she had 2 of almost everything. And there were a couple things, if she only had 1 of, then we were kind of like,
what's
the other
that one? Yeah.
But like she should have had 2 of the under eye correctors. And so I was like, that's weird. I only got you 1. Usually I get people 2. And so I went back and looked and I circled it, and it says she's supposed to have 2, but she only got 1 in her inventory. And so at that point, you can call Mary Kay, and they have kind of like a customer help thing. Like right here, it says customer branch service. And so it says, if you have any questions about your order, please contact branch customer service at. So you would just call them and say, I'm looking at this. I ordered 2, but I only have 1. And they'll just mail her 1 for free. So that's great.
Easy enough.
So then the final thing to just talk about would be, we did talk about, I think it's like key 9. I think key 9 is like getting yourself organized. And one of the things it talks about is like ordering your business cards. Yeah. And they have what's called a business essentials kit for a new consultant. And that's where you get a big stamper, and it has like your name and information on it. And I'll always stamp the back of my lookbooks. And that way, in that big old space, you could stamp your, and that way when you're handing those out to people, they have your contact information and your website and all that. So I guess I would probably tell you set up your website first before you order those, because then you can put your website on your everything. But also they have in that business essentials kit, it's called product reorder labels. And I always put my labels on the back of my products. So like on the back of my bronzers, on the back of my cheek colors. And two things about it. I'm not obnoxious with my labeling. Like, I don't label my lipsticks.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah. Well, and like if you were a woman and you had this beautiful tube of lipstick and it was like Rachel Wally, like, you know, so I try to make it like attractive. And if it's not attractive, then I don't. But like where I put my labels on the bottles would be like down here at the bottom, you know, right there. And this is me being picky, but like if you're a retailer, like you would make sure your labels were even and not like lopsided and stuff like that. Like it's just kind of like not professional. Just like you always want to clean your mirrors off really good, because it's gross when you see other people's like thumbprints and stuff. Like, so be professional and be clean. Yeah. So anyway, labeling your product is really good, especially when you're going to events when there's like 3 night solutions out on a table and everybody's like, is this your night solution or is this my night solution? And if you don't have like, if you aren't going to order labels or whatever, you could also take a Sharpie and like write your initials on it. Or sometimes people will get little like stickers, like those little stars when you're like in kindergarten, and you could put like green stars on your products or whatever, but just some way to delineate that this is mine, and that way we know who to give it back to. That's what else is nice. If someone accidentally leaves something, if it has a label, I can be like, oh, this needs to go to you. So we talked about that.
Another thing, I was telling my husband about the kit, and he was like, well, can you just go to Staples and like print labels yourself? And I was like, no, like you don't understand how much stuff comes in this kit, and it's only like $39.99 right now.
Right.
Like you get the stamp, the product labels, the business cards.
It's a
like,
lot.
That's a steal.
It is a steal.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay.
You do that.
Yeah.
You do that, girl. And then the last thing we were going to show you is, so we showed you how to like, so basically she has her roll-up bag. She has these cosmetic display trays. We put her lipsticks in this, but you can find your own systems in your house. You know what I mean? But basically you could take those things and you could put it in your starter kit bag, or you could get like a second little tote or something, but you would be ready to walk into someone's house. You know what I mean? And watch that video. It's Key 9 about building your mobile office, and it talks more about that. But like, she's ready to go do a party now, and she has everything she needs, and it's organized and it's ready. So you would just want to take that stuff, put it in a bag, and that's your party bag. So when you do a party, you just pick up your party bag, and you're just like, boop, here I am.
Good to go.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about, I mean, kind of your little stand? It's just easy.
Yeah. So I literally went to TJ Maxx yesterday and got this for like $12. That was it. But I just wanted something in my office where I could put my products on. And I had all these little bags that were super fun. And I guess you could also use the bags for like if you're giving somebody product. But yeah, so I put all of my clear proof / kind of like skincare stuff up here. And then my compacts are all in a bag, like my mini ones and my normal size ones. And honestly, I'm so obsessive compulsive, I'll probably redo this like 6 times, But anyways, yeah, and all my time-wise repair stuff, my makeup remover. And then down here I have like my Miracle sets. And they're like combination to oily and dry skin. And then my roll-up bag. And then this is all of my fun stuff. So like my brush sets, my foundations, my lipsticks, and then trying to remember what this is.
That was like a random makeup.
Yeah, I think that's all my random stuff that like doesn't really go together. And then all of my eye stuff. So my eyeliners, my eyeshadows. But I had a brilliant idea last night while I was laying in my bed, and I was like, I'm gonna use this little like jewelry display thing right here to like put each eyeshadow in and all the colors, so I don't have to like dig through that bag to try to find somebody their eyeshadow, and then it's like 2 hours later and they'll be like, oh, I don't want it anymore because you took like 2 hours to find it.
Like, never mind on that foundation or the So final thoughts would be so this is really cool because she has just a shelf. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes people have a bookcase. Sometimes people have like a hallway closet, and they'll put products in there. But just any kind of shelving. Or sometimes people leave it in their box. But they have one box that's all their skincare and one box that's their makeup. And so like you could put your boxes in the car and go. But a couple little helpful hints. So if you get on your InTouch and also under ordering, there's a little box that says MK Connections. And MK Connections is anything that will support your business. So that was like that business essentials kit you were just talking about. But it also has ways to organize it has like a color case, for example, that you can buy, and it has slots for all your lipsticks. So all my lipsticks are they're alphabetized, and I just drop them in. And then it also is kind of like a big old tackle box. So it unzips, and it has these trays that I can pull out. And so like all my eyeshadows are in these little trays in alphabetical order. And then it also has like long ones where I can put my eyeliners and my brow liners and all that kind of stuff. So MK Connections has things that are already made that are the exact shapes of the products. They're a little, I think that color case is like $80 or $90 maybe. But if you're a star consultant, you can use your star prize money. Like usually a voucher for MK Connections is a prize. So sometimes I'll take the MK Connections voucher and I'll use it to get stuff like that. I remember my skincare case that I got, I asked for that as a Christmas present. And I think I just bought it, or else because I probably didn't give someone my consultant number and log in and say, go here and go here and go here. But, I just asked for money so that I could get that. So if you have like a birthday or Christmas coming up and you wanted something, you could do it that way. And then sometimes consultants go to like Hobby Lobby or TJ Maxx or Michael's. And if you go to the scrapbooking section, they have all kinds of like little scrapbooking totes and organizational things. And you can find tons of stuff in there. So there's no right or wrong way, but at some point you're going to want, whether you do the MK Connections route right away or like, Alyssa has, she knows her lipsticks are in here at least. But it is nice when you have some sort of system with them because you can tell when you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I can go through because mine are alphabetized, or like my eyeshadows. When there's one left, I always get one more. So, it's all good. And like what we were talking about yesterday is because she has those, she could just, if she was doing a makeup party, she could literally take those little bags, put them in her box that her inventory came into, put it in her trunk, and go to a party. And so she's organized in her house. So if someone called and wanted something, she's organized in her house and she would know where to look. But she also has it that it's in a system that she could easily transport it. With my makeup at home, like I don't have makeup in my house, and I just have all my makeup in a color case, and I can take that case in and out of my car because it's small. You know what I mean? But your skincare is bigger, so I always have like a Miracle Set in my skincare thing in my car, but I restock it and I pull from my house and I'll put it back in my car if I sold it.
Cool.
So I mean, it depends on like the safety and the season. Like I feel pretty safe. I park in a garage, you know what I mean? Like, and all that. So I feel pretty safe leaving my product in my trunk. But like if it's freezing or it's crazy hot, I don't, because I'm afraid it'll freeze or it'll melt. Summertime is more my fear. So at that point, if it's really, really cold or when it gets too hot, then I'll bring my makeup in, or like I might bring it to a party, but I might ask her if it's okay to like bring it to the back room or something, just so it doesn't get too hot sitting in my car, especially with the windows rolled up. Whew, it's hot. So anyway, let's make sure we talked about setting it up in your home, being travel ready, MK Connections and all that.
Yeah.
So I feel good.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
we covered everything.
Yeah. And if you guys have questions, that's what I'm here for. So these are just to try to help you get it figured out.
Get it together.
Yeah. But like, don't feel like you have to know everything. So anyway, we will talk to you guys later, and thanks for letting us use you. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Bye, guys.